you are 40 plus, it's time to leave them young girls alone and get you a woman who understands the signs of a stroke. Start rewarding inconsistency with unavailability.
So everybody's going to be consistent at doing something.
Ooh. That time you confuse a lesson for a soulmate.
Bible never tells a woman to love a man. You're supposed to love her. She's not supposed to love you back at the same level.
Because when you have all these contingencies, you're not saying, I'm not going to love you. I'm not going to let God love you through me.
So somebody told me a long time ago, they said, look, before you go on a date with someone, release first. He said, release first, so that way when you go on that date, now you're not just looking at them through sexual eyes. You can clearly see what that person is saying and what that person is doing.
But what the kind of brother that gets sleepy after?
You can trust them to be themselves.
Maybe this will help. Will this help you?
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget the maybe, baby.
All I'm saying is we need to get the studio.
It's showtime.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
Yo. Mid sip, my brothers. What up, bro? Mike, you muted.
I'm back. What it do?
What it do? What's up, fellas? What's up, man? Okay. Yep. And that's where we are. That's where we are this morning.
That's where we at.
Golly.
Yo, I miss y'all, man. It's not like I see y'all often, but I still miss y'all, man. I love the fact we get to come here and do this, man. It's probably the highlight of my week, man. How was y'all week, man? Let's check in real quick before we get to business.
Go ahead, Doug.
Oh man, starting off with me. Just gonna throw me in the street like that.
We're gonna throw Mike in there because every time we get on this podcast, Mike pick up this maybe this will help mug, and he's the only one who got one. Every time, show him the mug, bro, and it got his name on it. This brother here, man, I ain't mad at you. Go ahead, man. I need my face on mine.
It's wow. See, and that's why I didn't even bother bringing it to you because I already knew you was gonna need your face. You was gonna need you with a selfie with the turban on. I knew it.
You would know.
And then Dub gonna want a full body with just his chest and his arm showing and his tattoos. So,
wow. Wow. Don't get him started. Don't get him started, bro.
Can I do like this? Can I do like this on the mug?
No. Wow. Yo. Hey. His brother coming in way too hot. I mean,
coming in hot.
We
sorry, Mom.
Listen to the show.
Sorry, Mom.
Jeez, brother. What you can do is give us some more light on. Well, you light skin, so you don't really need light on you. Never mind. Be the light bulb, bro. How was your week, man? How was your week?
You talking to me now?
Yeah, you.
First, all just wanted to talk down to me. Y'all wanted me to shut up. Now you want to know how my week is, huh? My week, man, is I'm recovering from the previous week. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? And things are getting a little better. You know what I'm saying? Just been in prayer about the family, just trying to make sure everything is all good. And, everything is getting to a better place, man. I'm just trusting in God. You know what I'm saying? Just like with all the stuff that I had going on and, the stuff that was kind of bothering me and making me feel a certain way. I'm laying it at his feet. Yeah. And that's definitely allowing me to be in a better place mentally. You know what I'm saying? I can only take care of what I can take care of. I can only worry about what I can worry about. I can't even say I can only worry about what I worry about. I want to take that back, but I can only take care of what I can take care of. And things that cross my mind, that may appear to be a worry, I could just give it to God and just say, all right, look, take care of it. There's a lot of things to think about, but nothing to worry about.
Say that again, man.
There is a lot of things to think about, but nothing to worry about.
Man, I can appreciate that, bro. Yep. I can appreciate that. There is a lot, to think about. And even that we can downplay after we say if God has a promise attached to it, we can let that go and move on to the next thing, but nothing to worry about, bro. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Sir. Mike Dizzle.
Yeah. My week was good, man. I highlighted my week, I think. Well, I had two big highlights. Highlight number one was our brother Kerry got back in town and we were able to sit down and a fellowship over at his house and just be free, man, and just be our authentic selves, which we usually are. But, a lot of people think that because they watch the show, they get this 100%, of who we really are. And we give that in what we talk about. But, it's certain sides that, are not seen just on the show alone. So it was good to be back around my brothers, man, and I got some motivation and some fire, and feeling good about that. And then I got my kids' report card today, and it was all A's and 2 B's. So super excited about that because education is big in my house.
Smart from his mom, huh? You get a smart from his mom?
100%. No, 100%. 100%. Okay. Honestly, probably his grandmother, if I'm being honest. I think, yeah. So
he just basically skipped both of y'all generation, huh?
Yeah. Thank God. Nah, but hey man, week is good, work is good. Kind of like Dub. I had my therapy on Thursday, and I was just telling my therapist I'm starting to walk in my nose, meaning if it's something I don't want to do, I'm not gonna do it. If it's something that you know what I mean, I'm not feeling comfortable with, I'm not gonna do it, because I used to be the person, whether it's family, friends, loved ones, people I don't know, people ask, hey, can you do this for me, or can you do this with me? No. Oh, well, why? I don't want to. I don't have a need or want to do that. And initially when I was telling my therapist, I was like, man, it sounds selfish. And he was like, why? Why does it sound selfish that you're putting yourself first? Because sometimes that's necessary. And even with denim, hey, can you come do this? No. We can do it another time, but no, not right now.
Good, man.
And it feels good. It's freeing. It's a freeing experience, bro.
Man, I mean, I'm proud of you for doing it, but I'm happy that I'm going along that same path with my therapy, bro. And we show the kids by example, bro.
Yeah,
we show them by example, man. So yeah, that's good stuff, man.
And you, sir,
bruh, man.
Last but never least,
man, I am good, man. I mean, dude, so I told you guys a while ago, man, that I am working on my social skills. I can sit in the house all day by myself, do my thing, but I'm actually working on my social skills in the middle of a pandemic. Go figure. But man, it was good, man. I got to hang out with my brothers on what was that? Wednesday, Tuesday? Wednesday? I don't even know.
Wednesday.
It was Wednesday. I got to hang out with my brothers on Wednesday, and then turn around on Thursday. We get to have fire night in the backyard with my circle. And then Friday, I went one of my friends. We celebrated, had a little dinner, celebrating the new job I got. And then Saturday, I got to hang out with one of my really good friends like half the day. So I've been really working on being more social and going out. These weren't,
Listen, 4 nights in a row, brother. Who are you right now?
I'm tired. I'm tired. Is who I am. I'm exhausted. I am tired. So so that's who I am, man. Man, come on, KR. It's necessary to have no in your vocabulary and know where to place it. Yeah. I remember my mentor told me once. My mentor said the level of your success will be based upon you properly placing yeses and nos. Yeah. He said you got to use them strategically. Yeah. Learn how to properly place your yes and your no, and you'll find yourself at high levels of success in your relationship, in your personal development, whatever it is, parenting, knowing how to place those yeses and nos. And when you mean them, say what you mean, and give it some thought before you say it. So yeah, man, 100%.
That's a fact.
Yeah, 100%. Man, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still looking for Kerry Darrell, Mr. DJ Devious, he is still doing what he needs to be doing right now. We're gonna keep you on the edge of your seat. We're not gonna let you know what the next move is, but keep it on the edge of your seat. Keep him in your prayers, and we ready to get into this night. Man, we don't often ask, but we're gonna ask today. Audience members, how was your week? Throw it in the chat bar. Let us know how your week was, because you see us come in and we do this check-in before we get into this discussion. We try to model how a discussion should go. Check in with everybody, see where they're at, check the temperature. And we don't really check in with y'all in the beginning, even though we like for y'all to participate. So let us know how your week was, what the highlight of your week was. Did you go back and rewatch the show this week? Did you share the show with somebody this week? Man, last week was good, bro. Last week's episode, man, that set me in a real good place. Man, we got a lot of good feedback. Man, people hit us up in our Cash App. People hit us up in our DMs. Man, it's been a great move, and we just grateful to God for it, bro.
Amen.
All right, so fellas, anything else before we get started?
You know what? I want to add the piece about putting no in your vocabulary, which is something I kind of touched a little bit on. I want to say it was last week or the week prior, but also don't get in your feelings when somebody tell you no.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Do not get in your feelings when somebody tell you no. Like just like how you have the right to say no, everybody has the right to say no also. You know what I'm saying? And don't lose feelings for that person. You know what I'm saying? And not even just talking about just romantic relationships. Don't lose feelings for somebody just because they told you no, because they simply just don't feel like it. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to have an explanation for telling you no. Like if somebody don't want to do something, they should be able to say no, I don't want to, free and clear, without you getting in your feelings, without you feeling all funny and you acting funny now. And no, I'm not acting funny. I just don't want to do whatever it is that you want me to do. Period.
I feel like there might be a story behind that.
Man,
you know what?
That's not with conviction.
I mean, I got a couple of stories behind that, bro. There's
always a story behind that. But what I'm saying is, what I want to say about that is, like, a lot of times people be afraid to tell people no, or they have to come up with an excuse or lie about a reason why they can't and this. And it's like, nah, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Simple and plain. I really don't want to. Yo,
Jana said, it's difficult to say no, but it does feel good to see that the world does not end because I said no. And you know what? This is what when I forgot who it was, a basketball player. He said, wherever there's fear, apply practice. That's how you get better at it, man. So you got to put some no's out there, feel it. See, it's not as bad as you think, man. Just honestly, just give it a shot, man. And I think that even as we're starting the show today, just touching on the honesty piece, man. Just be honest. I've had people, especially recently, because since I started therapy, my honesty has gone to another level. It was already direct, but it's even more direct. They're like, damn, Don. Like, it's a shock. But then it's like, I respect you and I appreciate that. And one of my friends even like, man, I need to when I'm talking to other people, I hear myself like fabricating or taking a political approach, and you inspire me to just be more straightforward with people. So I'm telling you, it's freeing. It's freeing. So y'all give it a shot, man. Y'all give it a shot if you ain't already trying it. If you're an expert at it, give us some tips on how you stay consistent. All right.
I've gotten pushback from some of my no's, you know what I'm saying? And people say, well, anytime I ask you to do something, you just say no. It's not anytime. It's just specific stuff that you ask me to do and I don't want to do it. I'm going to tell you no. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
that's the part.
Man, it's like people want you to have a reason or an excuse or something why you have to say no. And simple and plain, I say no because I just don't want to do that. Period.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. But the hood loves me though. The hood loves me though. So man, how about we get into something tonight, man? We got some really fire topics tonight that we're gonna bring to y'all. You know, we'll probably get into some of the more humorous stuff later on. But I kind of want to start with something. It's not heavy, but it's more direct, man. So
real quick. Is anybody hearing feedback?
Yeah, I am.
What do you hear?
Feedback.
I mean, as far as feedback, you can be getting ringing. You could be white place.
Do you have your earpiece in tonight?
No, I never have my earpiece in.
Oh, yeah, I am hearing a little feedback too, though.
All right.
Yeah, maybe pull your mic away from the computer and closer to you, or just separate the distance between your laptop and your mic.
I don't know if it's coming from me.
Talk, Donnie. Talk.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Yep, it's you. Yep, you got the itchy draws. Yep. Mm-hmm. Man. All right.
What about now?
Let's keep talking.
Hello.
Sounds better, Mike.
Joke today, huh?
That's cool. We're gonna run with it.
Oh shoot, I fixed it. Would you look at that? I fixed it. All right. Oh man.
Let's get to it.
Before we get to it, let's look at some of these comments, man. Donna came in and she said, real talk, no doesn't have to be a negative. Transparency is honest. And real talk, man, when you're dealing with people who can't take a no, it almost lets you know what the limit of that relationship has to be, because no is a part of life and they can't handle no's, and they're letting you know, like, this is as far as I can go in this friendship with you or this relationship with you, because I'm not, prepared or developed enough to handle those no's. Amber even said, honoring each other regardless of the situation or choice is wonderful, but she said, you can be unconditionally loving. Remember, love is selfless, so everything doesn't always have to be your way. She's given us good advice for people who've, been honest and said no, so we appreciate that. KR came through and said it was rough, but ended well. I was able to get some much needed me time in. Just got home from a 2-hour. Now wait a minute. That's what I need right there. A 2-hour
massage.
That's what I need, man. Gee, well, you better live it then, man. I know she in a good spot. She probably laid up somewhere just about to enjoy this show. So let's get into it, man. Yo, CD. Somebody should have told Mike no about those G's. God. I should have read that before. God.
Yeah.
Snuffed. Where you at, bro? Just wherever you are, my guy. Wherever you are, my guy. Hold on, let's make it official because Mike made it official for all of us. Where is it at, Mike? There it is, right there. Boom. There it is.
There it is. Right. Take two of them. So
let's get into this, man. All right. Let's lighten the load because we're talking about no's and yeses and what people's preferences are and stuff like that. This is a hot topic that people always discuss, and I think culture has pushed forth a standard of what it should be, right? So let's look at this real quick. Boom. Happily in love with my 5'2" king for 5 months while y'all getting ghosted by 6'2" alcoholics with 7th grade reading levels, but go off about how you only date tall men. I get. So clearly she's towering over this guy. He's 5'2", but that's her 5'2" king.
That's
and so
right.
This message alluding, Mike is already offended.
Hey.
This message alluding to the fact that because people want a tall person, they almost like compromise on other things. Mike, they're not saying all tall men are dumb.
I'm not. I know. I get it. I get it.
Your feelings.
I have something to say about that picture, but I don't want to offend anybody that is a short man.
Or anybody that's shorter than you?
No, just anybody that's shorter than her by a foot. Wow.
Okay.
Like to me, a king is a protector. You know, somebody you can look at and say, he's gonna protect his woman. Does it look like?
So you saying you're gonna snatch her up? You gonna snatch her up?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Check this out.
Oh boy.
This is some real talk. You can't never put height on things like that. Obviously, I'm not no 5'2" guy, but I tell you like this: I will knock a 6'5" nigga out just like I would a 5'10" nigga.
But you'll get tested before I get tested. Nobody's gonna walk up and try to test me. So his girl's an attractive woman. If another man that's just a knucklehead nigga, if he comes up and sees that and sees him, he may try to test him like, hey, I'm gonna try to holler at your girl. Not necessarily if he see me with her, it may not go that route.
I had this conversation with so I pulled up this guy. I was sharing it with some of my friends, seeing how they felt about it, women, and asking them like straight up, would you date a man shorter than you? And the first thing that came to mind was exactly what Mike said: protection. How's he going to protect me? And so we kind of had a discussion, and I used Mike as an example. I said Mike is like 6'6". You know, he's that's the persona he puts out there. I said, I've dated women taller than me. I'm only 5'10". I've dated chicks, a couple of them, I was 6'1". You know what I'm saying? And I said that wasn't an issue for them. But then she said, well, you're shaped like a refrigerator, so there's a difference there. And I'm like, so what does actual protection look like for a woman? What is it? Does it need to look rough? Does it need to be muscular? Like, what is it that makes you feel protected? Like, oh, that guy can protect me just looking from the outside in. And so it actually sparked a really interesting conversation. So, because you never know someone's skill set, but yeah, because women love T.I. He's not above 6 feet.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all and also hearing from the ladies in the audience.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely get what you're saying as far as just the appearance. But honestly, man, if it's a knucklehead, man, you don't know, especially now these days, these knuckleheads are killing burners. So it don't even matter about your height. You know what I mean? If that's the case, from the experience that I've seen, you are the bigger target to get popped at. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like, okay, well, you know what? This dude is big, so he poses more of a threat, so let me pop him real quick. You know what I mean? And for me, I mean, I'm not a giant, but I've never had any issues as far as, you know, being able to protect myself or protect anybody else. Even if it is somebody, you know, way taller than me or bigger than me, if they feel like they want to, you know, if they feel like they're ready to leap, shit, a big tree can get chopped down just like a little one can.
Let me ask you a question. Are you, I guess say secure enough, because that was a question asked me. Are you secure enough to date a woman that's taller than you?
Absolutely. And you know what? You know the cool part about it? Even if, you know what I'm saying, she is taller than me, I'm still going to tell her, hey, baby, stand tall and wear your heels too. You know what I'm saying? If you want to put your heels on, don't shrink yourself because I may be shorter than you. You know what I mean? If you want to wear your heels and still feel sexy, still feel like, okay, I want to put on my heels, wear your heels, because I'm going to be just as confident standing right next to you.
Man, I want to see what y'all got to say about some of these comments in here.
I was just reading.
Yeah, Donald's like, OMG, I'm that girl. I need a big guy to make me feel small. Big, tall, high. I mean, just bigger than me. You know, but then you got, I don't know, it's a conversation that needs to be had, because then you see the skinny guys with the thick chicks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, like, are we concerned, or is a woman concerned with feeling protected because of, you know, we live in LA and that's just how it is here. In other places, it's not even that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering.
I feel a lot of it is how you carry yourself too. So in that aspect, I kind of agree with Dub as far as if a dude is carrying himself a certain way, you know what I mean? I think that has a lot to play with a woman feeling secure with her man, whether he's tall, short, fat, skinny, whatever. But if you're carrying yourself like somebody, you know what I mean, timid, you know what I mean, things like that, then that might be the adverse.
So fellas out there in the audience, man, we asking y'all, man, are you secure enough within yourself, or would you trip or even wonder like, oh, I don't know if I can date a woman that was taller than me? And ladies out there, you know, I know some already timed in, like Sheila was like, it's a no for me. She said, I just don't want to look a man eye to eye in my heels. But why? We're interested in knowing why not. I have a cousin, she's 5'9", I guess, or 5'8", and her dude was 5'6", and she gave it a shot. I mean, the treatment was pristine, you know what I'm saying to you? And so it was something that was overlooked. But when I say overlooked, you know, no pun intended, it's like, man, do we put a short man like in the same category as someone with like bad credit or someone with like a criminal record? It's like, it's an offense that I'm willing to overlook. Like, you had no say so in that. That's how God made you, and now you're acting like you're doing me a favor. So, you know, I'm just wondering, man, from the audience and from y'all, man, what that would have to look like.
Some men and women alike miss out on great people, on great partners in life based on, oh, she's too big or she's too skinny or she's too short or too tall, and vice versa with women. He's too little, or he's too tall, or he's too fat, he's too skinny. You miss out on great people worried about the wrong damn thing.
I love what Maiva said. Maiva, that's my sister. She said, my mind, he have to be harder than me. I can't be the one protecting both of us. You have to be harder than me. So,
well, your sister's a thug. So, is that even?
It's possible. It's possible. She got a soft side, man. She got a soft side, but real talk, you know what I'm saying to you? She got to, you know, I think that's what it comes down to. Like, man, can you maybe feeling protected ain't about towering over you? Maybe it is something else. You know, maybe it's different for each woman. Have you guys in your previous relationships ever, if your woman ever told she doesn't feel safe with you?
First off, I want to point this out real quick. I like this. I'm 4'11". Little people need love too. Short man supporter.
Okay, Mignon. What height is short? What's the limit? I need to know some numbers here. Because I know. Remember, you saw those posts online, man. If you ask him how tall he is and he starts with a 5, you know the conversation's over. Got to be 6 feet or above. Oh man, yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. They better get on with that. I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11", and I'm not a short guy, but I'm not no giant, but still. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. She said Prince was 4 minutes tall. That brother was 4 minutes tall, and he was amazing.
Prince was nothing.
Right.
I bet you them tall chicks wasn't turning Prince down, and he even had his pants cut out.
You know, everybody got something they like, man. You know what I'm saying? See, everybody.
Does that make them feel protected? You know what? With the ass of his pants hanging out, cut out. You know what I'm saying? With the fresh press, you know what I'm saying? With the press and curl, with the purple on, and his voice going.
What was his voice though? Do it one more time.
So you mean to tell me them same women is going to? I don't think so. So all of what they talking about, it's preference until that dude come around.
For everybody just chiming in, this is what we're talking about here, man. I'm happily in love with my 5'2" king. Y'all can have them 6'2" alcoholics with a 7th grade reading level. Man, I think that honestly, at the end of the day, everybody has a preference of what they like, what they're willing to, I guess, make excuses for. And you know, I think that if you let that be a barrier, man, I think that can come back and bite you. I think it can come back and bite you. I know, especially a lot of women from Texas who aren't necessarily concerned with a man protecting them because they know how to protect themselves. They're built different.
Right.
They're raised different. You know what I'm saying to you? So they don't have that, and I'm not gonna say this to be offensive, but they don't have this damsel mentality. You know, like I don't need the man to protect me. So, you know, that might just be, you know, in your zip code and whatnot. So yeah.
Or then there's that. He didn't do the protecting. He paid people to protect to do it for him.
You never know.
Listen, you never know.
He can play basketball and he can make pancakes. So he probably could.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bruh.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
No, that's a good.
Wow.
What we got?
Facts. Got a 45 named Whisper.
Yep.
Hey. Hey.
Got a 9 named Be Still. Oh man. All right. What was you about to say, Mike?
Now I was like the question you posed though was pretty good about to me and Dub, and I'm assuming you'll answer it too, about have we ever been in a situation where the woman we were with felt unsafe or unprotected. And I can think of a time in my life where I can definitely say yes to that, but it wasn't because you know, I wasn't protecting her. It was because I was just doing way too much, just out there doing stuff I had no business doing, trying to be something that I wasn't at the time. You know what I mean? So she didn't feel safe being around me because I was around things that weren't safe.
I'll tell you like this, man. If y'all go back and look at maybe early this year's, maybe this will help the podcast episodes, and hear about Mike jumping out his car on people. Mike, the streets was calling, and Mike picked up. Mike said, "Hunt, what you need?" Like Mike was about that life. He hop off on somebody real quick. I'm happy you've been redeemed, brother.
Hey, God is still working on me, but he's good, man. He's good. He's good.
Patricia said, I have a big personality and I'm 5'9". I love heels. I need my man taller than boob height. I want to be able to respect him and not view him as a little boy. So if he's shorter, he needs to be thick with it. Bruh. Ultimately, I believe it's a way a man carries himself and how confident he is as a man he is. I prefer a man to be taller than me because I want to feel protected. If he's shorter than me, I can't really see him as a protector for me. I'm 5'8", and I just feel like I need to look up to my man, literally. Hey,
go ahead, D.
I'm about to say when we did Carrie's birthday, that pull up. This was my first time like I've been on the show officially, and I met a few people, and one girl was like, "Oh, I expected you to be taller." It's like, that's all I got. So all I got.
You should have said I expected you to be cute. We were both wrong. No. I don't know who you're talking about. It was a joke. I don't know who you're talking about.
She wasn't saying it to be offensive. She was just saying she had certain expectations. And remember, we talked about how we live in a space where we no longer worry about if we don't meet people's expectations. Like, everybody got somebody that like them the way that they are. And I think that when we live in a society where people can be that honest, we talked about at the beginning of the show, where we can live in a society where people are honest and other people are not offended by their honesty. That makes for a great place to live.
Yeah.
You
know what?
Oh
man, like, yeah, go ahead.
I just heard Mike say she looked better behind that filter. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, y'all just listen. I gave that story as an example.
Yep.
I gave that story as an example to anybody out there who might be struggling with this topic, because we know guys, who are in the 5'5", 5'4" range, and it's like, look, bro, you only need one. You know what I'm saying? Just there's somebody for everybody. So don't be offended. Don't be out there trying to find surgeries to get your knees stretched. You know what I'm saying? Just look, man, just rock what God gave you. You're perfect for what God's called you to do. Just like ladies, you know what I'm saying? Before we dive into this next topic about how we're going to alter our bodies and try to fit this image, look, man, you might be great as you are. But before you go and start trying to fit into a mold you weren't meant to fit in, understand that everything God has for you, you're the perfect height for it. You look perfect for it. Your mustache, line that thing up and rock it. Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? If you shape like a pear or a watermelon, you wider than you are tall, fellas. Like whatever it is, man, just get healthy, get focused, and handle your purpose, man.
And that's a big piece you said right there. That's funny you actually said that. I was thinking about that today at the gym, and I was kind of looking around, and I was like, man, it don't matter what you look like on the outside. If you're healthy, if you go to the doctor and the doctor say you good, it don't matter. Now, if you want to look a certain way because that's how you want to look, go for it. But don't do it like because of social media. Don't do it because some dude you likes girls with big booties or girls with big titties. So now I'm gonna go to the doctor and get this done, but to try to get somebody else or impress somebody else. Whatever you're gonna do it for you and you alone.
And love yourself.
And love yourself first before you do anything. Ladies, this has been another wonderful episode. Maybe this will help the podcast. Why would you put that up right after I made that statement, though? Golly.
Damn. I promise you, there's somebody for everybody. Me and my homeboy, one day we were sitting down just like people watching, because one of my favorite things to do is people watching. We're just like, like look at them. They don't, their look is not trending, but they skipping along with somebody happy, living their best life.
It's not trending.
And somebody loves it. And somebody loves it. And that's what I'm trying to prove that point, man. You ain't got to look like who's hot and who's trending. Rock your look, man. and just let it be what it is, man. Oh. Disrespect.
Oh, shoot.
Kim came in lies. Y'all know y'all ain't talking to no chick with lined up mustache. Hey,
Donnie might. I will not, because looks matter to me. Call me shallow. Looks matter to me.
Just because she got a mustache, I met some hairy girls. I don't mean she ugly, especially got the unibrow to go with it. It's just, it's a thing. It's a thing, man. It's
So
a thing.
you line it up for her, and then she line you up. Like, do y'all go to the same barber?
Could.
Like,
You put the little Adidas stripes in it. I could.
what was the next one?
All right, before we move on, man. Oh goodness, I have male friends that are shorter than me that are interested in dating me, but I can't get past the height. I like a lot of things about a man, them as a person, but something in me won't let me cross the line with them. It's kind of gangster though, so maybe that's part of it. I'm kind of gangster, so yeah. I mean, if they soft, don't blame it on their height. Blame it on their softness.
And then you gotta think about what's being hard. Like, some people didn't grow up in the kind of background where they ever needed to be hard. Real like talk. silver spoon type stuff. Why do I need to go out with a persona that you mess with me, you finna get dealt with? If that's never how I grew up, you know what I mean?
And maybe he can take you out of that community where that is the status quo, where you got to be so hard to survive. Maybe some of y'all, some of us need to be invited into the sector of civilization where you don't have to be hard. And that's why I think, a lot of times that gangster mentality translates into the relationship in a very unhealthy way. because it's this fight or flight that you're so used to being in your neighborhood. And I know this personally, that it's hard for you to have a passionate conversation with your partner because you're so used to fight or flight. You don't have no in between. You know, that can translate in a very unhealthy way in a relationship. So
I have a couple things to say. First thing is, I hear a lot of women, or read a lot of comments, and a lot of things people saying, women are saying is the height thing for protection. Well, I mean, I know a lot of tall guys that are soft as cotton. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of tall guys that couldn't protect you from, a bushel of gnats. I'm just saying. I know a lot of guys who really like that. So that's the first thing. The second thing was sometimes people are looking for that tough mentality, right? They're looking for that hard, that tough guy. But do you ever think about when that tough guy get upset with you and he turns that on you? So you have to deal exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Now you have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Now you have to deal with, the guy who's just so quick to just pull out a gun on anybody and be tough or want to fight anybody. Now he's that same guy that pull out a gun and be tough and want to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Now
that's real life, man. That's real life.
So it's sometimes, man, that protection doesn't just mean height, and it doesn't mean tough exterior. It doesn't mean anything because honestly, man, you can have a short dude that loves the mess out of his woman, and he will go to all measures to protect her. Period. You know what I'm saying? He's like, look, this is my baby. I love you. I'm not gonna let nothing happen to you. So I don't care if 10 guys come at me. I'm fighting to the death to make sure you ain't got to lift a finger and you good.
One thing I wanted to add, man, we're saying short like there's a specified height. It's not. It's relative to the person. You know what I'm saying to you? It's relative to the person. What's short for mignon ain't short for key or Kia. I'll mess up everybody's name. But it's that's the difference. You know what I'm saying to you? And some people aren't mature enough to even have like a boyfriend their height. Their girl's gonna talk about them. But this goes into this next topic. No, we're not talking about the bushel of gnats that Earl was just. I've never ever seen a bushel of gnats.
Golly, a bushel of gnats?
No, like little chihuahuas. Yes, that's exactly. But they'll protect you. But this is a topic I wanted to get into because we were talking about this body positivity, body altering, trying to be something that you're not because maybe your community or your society is just like they go hard. You know what I'm saying, on people who lack in this area. But this is what we want to talk about for a minute here. Boom. Stop comparing yourself to $22,000 worth of surgery. One more time. Stop comparing yourself to $22,000 worth of surgery.
Hey, you know what that deserves? Before you say something, bro, you know what that deserves? That deserves the it ain't yours, you bought it.
Wow. Hey, look, man, we are killing ourselves trying to look like something that's not even real. Man, I'm not. Now, you guys know me. I am not against surgeries. I'm not against body altering. I'm fake, whatever. I'm good. My thing is, where is it coming from? What's your intent behind it? What do you believe is going to solve, or it's just something you want to do? Like, that's the thing for me, because sometimes that surgery could be the reason you have bad mental health. I mean, biologically, the chemicals can mess with you, or what you thought it was satisfying, it doesn't satisfy, can lead you into a deeper depression. Again, I don't mind, just you alter anything, don't put no fake ankles in there, and we be good. How y'all feel about the surgery piece, man?
Have that surgery stuck. Now you just left with permanent drag ass. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
The dirty diaper syndrome?
The dirty diaper syndrome.
Wow.
Yes, because you thought you was about to get some of that good clap when I hop real quick.
Wow.
Nope. And nope.
Wow.
Listen, I see it like this. For me personally, I'm not a fan of the go all out. You know, it looks super unreal, but I will say this: if you put your hours in at the gym, and you just want to, just put you over the edge because it's a certain shape that you want personally, not I saw her with it and she get this, so I'm gonna try to do. No, if this is something that you want and you put in the work for it and you put in the hours for it, and it's your hard-earned money that you spent, go for it.
Look, I appreciate Sheila's honesty here. She said a word. I had to stop doing this. Always compared myself, and she came back and said, came a long way. It was all insecurities within myself. Now you're gonna get this whole bakery.
Hey.
And I appreciate that when you love yourself on that level. But let's talk about the reality of it. Like Amber said, it's hard not to when every person in society glorifies it.
It's not every person in society though.
But what about when it's that person that you want that's highlighting it? It's like it seems like it's everybody when it's the specific people you want and they don't want it. They want something different. It seems like it is everybody, but it is glorified in culture. Do you guys struggle with any body insecurities because of what culture said? I know Errol probably wants to be darker, but do you guys struggle with anything that
very much? I'm already chocolate. You see all this. You see all this melanin. Yep. Hey,
I'm usually with you, man. I'm usually like I say 90% of the time, I'm right there with you, brother. But I don't know about this one, bro.
Hey, let me tell you something, bro. You wanna know how I describe myself?
Man.
I'm black as the bottom of a burnt frying pan after a southern fish fry on a hot summer day in Georgia.
Wow.
Yep.
That's what you put on your Christian Mingle profile?
Jesus Christ!
Hey, we better talk about it. Like, dude, it's all good, bro. It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, I'd say there's been times of vanity coming from what society says that you're supposed to look like. Sometimes you get in the gym and then you go to an Instagram page like, damn, I don't quite look like that. Let me go back and what I mean. So there has been moments of vanity, but I think my headspace right now is just looking how I want to look. Like I may have body goals, but it's not to say I want to look like this because I think society will like me better as a person. I can give a shit about what society thinks.
That's a great distinction, bro. To have goals and love yourself, but still want to make improvements and alterations for healthy reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I love that. Well, I brought this topic up because that was my big issue, and I'm actually working through it in surgery. Well, therapy is like surgery right now. You know what I'm saying? T, you can say that $22,000 and pay $100 per session and get you a therapist to get you thinking different and save you a lot of time and money. But I'll tell you, struggle with vanity, trying to be an actor and a model at a young age, and then going to the strip club and everybody muscles and all that kind of stuff. Like, bro, it was so tough to really embrace who I was because I constantly had to compare myself to other people to get the audition or to get the money. And I didn't have to, but that's what I chose to do. That's the industry I jumped into. A lot of people do it in business. They jump into these industries where your resume is compared to somebody else's, and ultimately you feel inadequate wherever you go. Yeah. And I want you to know that it's because the industries that you're choosing to get into instead of the lane that God called you into where favor is going to be waiting for you. There's a life that God has presented and prepared for you where you don't have to compromise, or the Bible says you don't have to sell your soul to obtain your dreams. You don't have to sell your soul to acquire these things in life that God promised you, but it's us always going after what's not for us when we find ourselves in this compromising position. My therapist said this one thing. He said, what do you apologize to yourself for not accepting about yourself? And when I was like 22 years old, I took pro hormones, which is one level away from steroids, because my boy convinced me like, we take these and, we want to run the club. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make our bodies do something different and boom, 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 bow, right? And I had never really told anybody about it. And I told him in the session, I guess now I'm telling everybody's going to listen to this, but I had to apologize for myself because when I took those drugs, I was telling myself that I wasn't enough. And I was telling myself I didn't believe in myself. And I was telling myself that God made a mistake when he made me. And when I got down to the root of it, I was just like, bro, this is rooted in so many different lies. And if we don't take time to identify why we want to do a certain thing to see if it's rooted in a lie or if it's rooted in something healthy, we can really end up damaging our lives in a very negative way.
Our lives and our bodies.
Along with our bodies.
Yeah.
You know, something that I noticed, and it's just me, maybe my stats are wrong compared to, you know, grand scheme of things, but what I've noticed that there are a lot more happy women in relationships and married that have natural bodies, that are unaltered bodies. A lot of people that I know and that I've seen, they just tend to be a little bit more happy, a little bit less, less stress, less worry. It's almost like that. Yeah, you can get this, you know, like what Sheila said, you're gonna get all this bakery. I noticed that sometimes it's a lot more work to try to keep up with that body that's altered. And if, you know, you start to lose that body, or if it start to get altered in any kind of way because of age or, you know, anything else, it creates a lot more stress on that particular person that was doing stuff like that. So in the grand scheme of things, it seemed like it's a whole lot more work to maintain that particular body, just from what I saw. It's a whole lot more work to maintain that particular body. And then, you know, in addition to that, I've also seen that people that had those alterations wasn't truly happy because they had to live behind this facade. They had to live behind this mask the entire time.
Hoping nobody will find out.
Huh?
Said hoping nobody will find out.
Hoping nobody will find out. So I don't know. That's just something that I've observed. Like all my friends and anybody else who I know, the people that's married, they actually are married to natural women.
And I'll say it like this, man. There's some doctors out there. One of my friends knows one. He does reconstructive surgery, you know, for people who have had a mastectomy, you know, and they put them on there because, you know, she had to get them cut off for, you know, health reasons or whatnot. Again, we're not saying anything. Well, I'm not saying that, you know, body alterations are bad. We're just really talking about the place that it comes from within yourself. Right. A happy person is going to be happy after they had the surgery. A sad person is still going to be sad after they had a surgery. That's not the fixer, you know. Alter all you want, you know, change your nose and whatever else, but understand what it does and what it doesn't do for you.
Right. That's a fact.
Tanya said, I agree, Donnie, you need to do the emotional work first. But sometimes after women have had children, it's a matter of wanting to be yourself again, not because of social pressures. And that's true. The lady up above, Amber, said it. I think she said it best. She said, I'm not vain enough to do it, but a tummy tuck after birthing 3 kids now that I'm single is tempting, even though the gym is there. And a lot of times, especially if you had a C-section, they cut through that muscle wall. So that's really limiting what you can do yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So again, like, I think there's healthy ways that you can approach this. And again, like, you know, we can't tell you what's right or what's wrong, but you know, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, what you doing this for. And I know, you know, mommies, I know a couple of girls who told their husbands, like, after I have your second child, like, I need that mommy makeover, that BBL. You know what I'm saying to you? Because I know a lot of girls in the fitness industry, because I used to shoot a lot of them didn't want to have kids because they didn't want to lose their body. I'm not sure if they would get it back. Some women, after pregnancy, their bodies come back better than they were before.
Right.
That's not everybody's story. So, and if you got someone else, go ahead.
So why do men stay liking porn stars and Instagram models that don't look like their natural wives? I will speak on that first. You know, first off, you know, you have to understand the difference between a fantasy and reality. That's one huge thing. You have to understand the difference between the fantasy and reality. And the second thing is, you know, just because you like something, or, you know, you may see some ass or some titties and stuff like that, there's natural women who have that same ass and titties, and you appreciate it just because that's just something that you particularly like, a body part that you like. But what goes along with that is it's all a fantasy that you create in your mind, even when you see that. because there's women who have these hell of a bodies, but in bed they're horrible. So it's all about the fantasy that you're creating like that. You may see the big butt and the big breasts and stuff like that, and and the fantasy that you're creating in your mind makes it, I'ma like it, or I'ma look at it, or something like that. But you never know somebody's reality. It's just what you play in your mind. Same thing. A person could a person could this guy a person can look very attractive, right? Can be physically appealing, but their hygiene could be horrible, right? Once again, all you looking at is just the appearance, the outer appearance, and you looking at that fantasy that created for yourself, but you don't know the reality. Until you know the reality, you know what I'm saying? You can have that woman with that funny body, and she can smell wonderful, and she can have the best sex in the world. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is.
I'll say it like, oh, go ahead, Mike.
You got it.
I was going to just simply say, man, for me in the conversation I've had with my guys, it's like there's a difference between liking somebody and wifing somebody. Like there's certain things that you want to see, and you want to see them from a distance, but you don't want to engage. You don't want to partner with. It's like going to an art gallery. Oh, that's nice. No, I don't want to buy it and take it home. No, I don't want to maintain it and clean it and keep the cobwebs off of it. No, I want to admire it from a distance and keep it pushing. Just kind of talking to Amber's conversation. That's some guys' approach, and some guys, just sick in the head, and it's a demon that they got to get prayed off. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? It comes down to spiritual attack and warfare and stuff like that. So, I mean, just giving you a round of view look at it. Go ahead, Mike.
That's funny, because I had a point to speak to Errol, what Errol said, and now I have a point to speak to what you said, because I was initially going to say that it's a form of perversion, right? Because what a lot of men that watch porn, or a lot of men that look at these quote unquote Instagram models, they're not thinking, oh, she has a nice butt, or oh, she has nice breasts. Or what they're thinking is, I wonder how she is in bed. And based on the body shape, it's like, ooh, that's probably gonna feel good, because I don't get that at home, because my wife or my girlfriend doesn't have that type of body. So maybe that'll feel better or feel different. So that's why you see a lot of guys going after these, or fantasizing, or looking up these porn stars or Instagram models, because they feel like the physical aspect of it is going to somehow be different. Like somehow, because she got a butt lift, or a fake butt and fake boob, somehow that has transformed her vagina into something else. Nah, bruh.
They got a surgery for that. But
did you get it?
Did they get it? I don't know if they got it. I know a few women who've done, after a few kids, they have that doctor who changes it and turns it back to an 18-year-old.
Oh, it's called something, but you rejuvenate the wall.
Badger Fresh. I don't know what it's called, but it is.
Badger Fresh.
Badger Fresh. That sounds like a whole commercial.
But, honestly, man, I mean, and those kind of things are what come up like in not premarital, but in marriage counseling, because the physical part is a big deal for men and women. You know what I'm saying? That's why so many couples, like, they talk about don't let yourself go when you get married, because the physical aspect, we can't just ignore it like it doesn't matter. Now it does, we're saying like, the extremes you're willing to go to, where it starts to outweigh your character. It starts to outweigh, your integrity and stuff like that. It becomes a very serious issue. There we go, Portia. Vaginal rejuvenation, resurrection, like Lazarus, same thing. Yeah. So let's. We don't usually do. I know it's about to be halftime. We don't usually do a video until after halftime, but I just want to put this one. Wow, is there a ball lift? That's my sister. That is my sister. That is my sister.
Come on.
So with that being said, let's tap into this, because it's going to tie into what she wrote. So.
Trust me, had I allowed the old me that was comparing myself, especially in this world of so much pressure, I would have been got my titties done. But these orangutan titties are just going to have to do. because our flesh is not coming with us, okay? Hopefully, Jesus and his men are not going to stop me at the gates and be like, it hang too low. Stop, compare.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
Bring them damn orangutan titties over here, girl.
Orangutan. I did not know anybody else referred to him as that, but I remember back when I was like 20, and that's when I heard it because it happened to somebody I know. And I'm like, why you call him orangutan? I said, because you see them commercials out in the zoo, and the orangutan got the arm of the head trying to reach it. It's all the way down at their knees. It's a sight. Wow. It's a natural thing that is an acquired taste. I'm gonna leave it at that. Fellas, you got anything?
Man, let me tell you something. I tell you like this. I'd rather meet. Me personally, I'd rather have the orangutans than them titties that when they take off their bra, their titties is suspended in midair. They got the fake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they take off their bra and the nipple is still stuck like way up here. Nope.
Wow. He said it's stuck? Wow. Jesus.
I'd rather have the orangutans all day. If I had to choose between those two, give me the orangutans.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Wow. So Maiva got women in the chat voting for the ball lift. Yes, for the ball lift. You lift mine, I lift yours, everybody happy. You know, as you spend all this money for nothing, that could be a manual fix. Just what's wrong with you? Man, wow. Y'all funny, bro. Y'all funny.
Is it y'all? Is it y'all or is it you?
Right.
They may be stretched out, but they still work. Come on, Sims.
Yep.
Come on, Sims.
Say it again.
Tell them about it. Got some distance on them things, man.
Distance?
This guy. You hear that?
What?
What?
From across the room. I tell you what. Nah, but it's halftime, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna stick to what we said we was gonna do. Oh, brothers, let me get the soundtrack in the background. I can't even find the background sticker, man. Where's it at, Mike? Where's halftime at? Found it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for rocking with us for this first hour. Mike is about to give us some announcements.
What we got going on? Like, follow, share as usual. The YouTube is now up. Maybe this will help the podcast. You guys can go follow that, turn on your notifications, share that with your friends and family that don't have Facebook or don't use Facebook. Please like and follow our IG page. Maybe this will help the podcast. Also, so we I'd say like once a week we go through and we check out our what do you call it? Cash App. And before I do this, is this what you're talking about, Donnie?
Whoa.
That's it. You're on mute. Get it together, brother. Little technical difficulties. He's out of here. No, but so I'll wait till he gets back. But so we go through our Cash App maybe like once a week when we have bills, StreamYard bills, or whatever coming up. So we just we noticed that we really got blessed like big time this since the last show, and we just wanted to shout some people out and say thank you to Wendy, to Jay Hill, to Marcella, to Yolandra, Kedra Sims, Shani Durrett, Marcella again, Adriana Bolden, Donnie Moore, Yolandra, KR, Kismay, is that how I say it? Kismaya, and Wendy. Thank you so much. We were all blown away when we went in there and saw this. So just know that it doesn't go unseen, and it definitely doesn't go unappreciated. We thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. It feels good to know that people are willing to give their hard-earned money because they believe in what we're doing. They believe in what the things we were saying on the show, and they believe that it's actually helping them. So we just want to thank you guys. Donnie, you want to do? Are you back?
I missed something. I feel like I missed something.
Okay, let's pause what I'm saying and let's go back to this.
Who did this?
It was a quick Photoshop. It was 1, 2, 3 Photoshop, real quick, while we were talking just now.
That's like dental dam. All right, you know, stay safe out there, y'all. Stay safe. COVID is real, and stay safe. All right, man. Where we at, bro? Where we at?
I was just thanking the viewers that have sewn into maybe this to help via Cash App, and I just read off a couple names and said thank you to them. If you want to do our Cash App, throw that up real quick.
Cash App. Maybe this will help. Cash App. Maybe this will help. Listen. This is not just for what it does for you, it's what we want to do in the future, our big picture, our big scheme of things. And we've had people hit us up asking for referrals to therapists. We've had people hit us up telling us like, man, that insight helped me with my child this week. When we say the name of this Carrie named this show so appropriately, because that's exactly what it's doing. It is helping. We're having conversations with each other, including our audience, in hopes that maybe it will help, and it has been helping. And we just thank you guys for helping us to push this message forward, getting us on YouTube and Facebook. And we got more things coming, more in-person things coming for you guys. So yeah, we just appreciate it. One more time, if you're thinking about it, just screenshot this real quick. Maybe this will help. And man, we take pennies, we take dollars, we take donations of all sorts. If you have a service that you want to provide to our audience and we can run off a raffle, it's all good. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
We can make that happen. Nat Pat, we can definitely come to Texas at some point and make it happen and see what they look like out there. See what they doing out there.
Shut the whole city down.
Shut the whole city down.
Hey,
man. And like Steven said, man, I appreciate that. Always willing to support. So at this time, before we go into the second half of the show, tag somebody. If wherever you're watching from, YouTube or Facebook, tag somebody to have them chime in to the second half as we go through some of these videos to dig out some humor, dig out some wisdom, and hope that maybe it will help.
Yeah. Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget
the maybe. You know what? And just for it, man.
Maybe help. Will this help you?
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget the maybe, baby.
All I'm saying is we need to get the studio.
It's showtime.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
It just never gets old, man.
It's always good. It's always good.
All right, man. So let's we're gonna get into some discussions about these relationships after we talk about this body positivity and stuff. We have a few more posts coming your way. But after I run this video, Dub got a post that he wants to share with us. But let's tap into this first before we go into that next one.
And this is another thing. Ladies, love is your big word. You will understand that most men never asked you to love us. We ask you to respect us. Because to us, psychologically, and this is another thing.
Fellas, we need to run it back. How you feeling about it?
Run it one more time.
And this is another thing. Ladies, love is your big word. You will understand that most men never asked you to love us. We ask you to respect us. Because to us, psychologically, and this is another thing.
Psychologically. What you got, Mike?
I think that I definitely understand where he's coming from. I wouldn't necessarily say that the love part for men isn't a big thing. It's big, but I understand where he's saying we never really asked because, you know what I mean? For me, if we're in a relationship and, you know, I can tell that you love me by your actions. I can tell you that you love me by, you know, different things. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily need you to tell me you love me all the time. But the respect thing, I get it. That is big. That is big. Pause.
Dub, what you got?
I am huge on respect. I'm just huge on respect, period. I hate to feel disrespected. I hate to feel talked down to. You'll get a better reaction from me letting me know and see that you respect me. Because, you know, not to say that love is not important and it doesn't need to be there. I'm not saying that at all, but for me, I'm huge on respect, because for me that translate to love. You can love somebody all day long, but be very disrespectful. That disrespect is gonna make my life very hard.
I was going to ask you that, bro, because I love this video. 'Cause I know respect is big for you, but why are respect and love not synonymous? Why are they different? What is the difference?
Well, a lot of times people say they love you, but they don't respect you. You know what I mean? And with that respect, it makes life harder. It makes, for me, I feel like I'm a man and I work very hard, right? I try to make sure I can protect and I can provide and I can, I make sure I'm that guy. If something needs to be fixed, I'm gonna fix it. If something needs to be attended to, I'm gonna attend to it. So for me, I feel like I work really hard, and to not be respected, like somebody can tell me love, I love you, I don't care about that. Do you respect me? Do you respect do you respect me as a man? Do you respect how I feel? Do you respect my, my point of view? Do you respect my leadership? You know what I mean? You can say love all day, but be super disrespectful. You can be super out of line, super out of pocket.
True.
So I want to, I want to add the definitions here. So let's have this conversation, because Portia, I'm kind of with you. I'm like, isn't respect and part of love? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm thinking. But check these definitions out real quick. So you have love as an intense feeling of deep affection, right? And, if you're a Christian or if you're not, there's always like a authority of what love truly is. God is love, or love is sacrifice, and all these other things. But interesting thing about respect. Respect is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievement. So respect seems to be admiration that's really targeted towards what you can produce, or performance, or how you create outcomes, because it says it's something that's elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. And so I think that love is free from loving you because of what you do, it's because of who you are. But I think that respect kind of has a lot to do with what you contribute to me. And maybe that's a part of why men feel like respect is such a big deal, because a lot of men do see themselves as a provider, and they want to be acknowledged for what they are providing.
So check this out. DTF said, but you also have to understand what love means to a person. Not everyone thinks the same way. And that's prime reason why I said, what I said, as far as I would much rather have respect, because once again, everybody's definition of love is different. People say, oh, I love this, I love that, I love you, I love that, but they still going to act the ass towards you. You know what I'm saying? They still gonna be disrespectful. They still gonna talk out the side of their neck when they feel like it. They still gonna give you a hard time. And it's like, I don't want my life, for the person that I'm with, I don't want my life to be harder because you just say you love me, but there's no respect there. You know what I mean? I don't want a harder life.
So saying like, we're gonna try to get to the bottom of this. So saying like you respect someone's authority, like you love me as the man, you love me as Donovan, but do you respect me as the husband, the role in the office that I stand in, I walk in? Do you respect me like a police officer? Like, I love them, but you respect their authority, you respect that badge. Is that respect piece something that we assign towards the person's role in our life, or their title? And love is just what we do for a human to a human, a person to a person. What y'all think?
Go ahead, Mike.
I just wanted to kind of touch on the love piece real quick. I think that it's really simple. I don't think that the love and respect are synonymous. I think that I love my mother, for instance, two pieces. But I can remember a point in time where we were in a heated argument and I said something that was very disrespectful. Does that mean I don't love her? Because I didn't know. It has nothing. The respect piece and the love piece, I think, are in two different categories. I think that some actions can be disrespectful. That don't mean I don't love you. I mean, I lost my mind for a quick second and I said or did something that was very disrespectful. You also see it in relationships where women or men get abused. And call the police. Oh, don't arrest him. I love him. Don't take him. I love him. He just whooped you to a bloody pulp. What you mean? Because that she loves that person. You know what I mean? So I don't think the respect piece and the love piece should go in the same bag. I think they got to be talked about separately.
I think there's a big difference. And once again, just like DTF said, some people's definition of love is different. You know, it's different than, you know, what I may call love may be different than what you call love, right? Yeah. So you showing me your love, but even though you showing me your love, other things that you do are very disrespectful. And I'm gonna say, you know what? I don't give a damn how much love you say you have. You being disrespectful. I'd rather you not be in my life.
Yep. Period.
Can't hear you, bro.
There we go. I think that love is bigger for me. I'm just basing off what we're having in this conversation so far. I'm looking at what Portia is saying. She said, you can respect someone and not love them, but if you truly love someone, you also respect them. And so I think that, like most of us, we see love a certain way. And when people don't show us love the way that we see it or define it, then we say they don't love us. And so it's such a tricky subject because you can say, oh, this girl disrespected me by, you know what I'm saying, not standing up for me when her mom said something about me. And just based on behavior alone, that must be disrespectful. But somebody else can see that as total respect because they didn't engage or get you involved in anything that was going to waste your time. They just let it go. And I struggled with this in my past relationship. I don't think we really shared the same views on what was disrespect and what was respectful as it pertains to other people. And so it's such a fluid and relative idea that it does you best for you and your partner or you and your circle of friends to talk and have a conversation about what do you consider respectful and disrespectful, because that can break a relationship all because you guys didn't communicate like, oh, shoot, I didn't know that was an issue for you. That communication piece comes in big right there.
I wanted to tap into what Kiss Maya said real quick. I got to have a man's man to handle me in a relationship. That will make me respect you and lead me to loving you. If there is a time when you are no longer being that man I respect, I can still love you, but cannot be in a relationship any longer. I must respect you. I just want to tap into kind of that first part that I hear a lot of women say, I got to have a man to be able to handle me. My thing is, in a relationship, I love you, you love me. We know why we're coming to this. Why do you have to be handled? You know what I mean? I feel like you got to handle a pit bull. I feel like you got to handle something that's out of control. That's what needs to be handled.
You said that's disrespectful. You see, that is disrespectful right there. That right there is disrespectful.
Your brother is rude tonight, bro. He's rude.
She needs somebody to handle her. Just everybody needs some handling. Go ahead, Mike. You was on the road, brother.
No, but basically, just what I'm saying is, I feel like once you're in a relationship, all the I need to be handled, and you know what I mean. I'm an alpha male. That men say, and all this in a relationship. That's your queen. That's your king. I shouldn't have to handle you. You know what I'm saying? I want to love you. I want to treat you like the queen that you are, but I don't want to have to handle you. That sounds like work.
Why don't we get a clear definition on what they mean, what you mean by handle? Why don't we? I think this is what my friend told me.
Look what she put. Look what she put. I'm a lot of work.
I'm a lot, Mike. I'm a lot.
You know, Mike, I definitely agree with you 100% on that. You know, if we're in a relationship, definitely. Why do I have to handle you? You know what I mean? Are you saying you're going to be difficult? And I have to, you know what I'm saying? I have to do certain things to tame you, right? Because that's what it makes me feel like. Just like you said, you know what I mean? As far as you handle a pit bull, like, am I going to have to tame you? Am I going to have to be super aggressive and just like, oh, man, shut the hell up? You know what I'm saying? Like, to get you to calm down? It shouldn't be like that. You're definitely right. We are in a relationship. You're a person. I'm a person. Handle yourself. Take care. You know what I'm saying? Like, why should I have to be forceful with you? You know what I'm saying? In that capacity, as far as just, you know what I'm saying, just being in a relationship. I shouldn't have to handle you. You should handle yourself. Whether, you know what I'm saying, you feel like you a lot or not, you know what I mean? You know your issues. Take care of your own issues. Just like I got to take care of my issues, right? Because I know I may be a certain way sometimes. I have to deal with myself. I shouldn't leave that. I shouldn't put all that pressure and stress on you to tame me or to handle me or make me a certain way. No, that's too much.
So I was having a conversation with one of my friends recently about this, and that whole I'm a lot. It came up in conversation, and the cool thing about it, she was able to express to me what she meant in more words than saying I'm a lot. And I was open to listening to what she meant when she said it. And what it came down to, I'm still hearing a little bit of feedback. What it came down to was that she was saying she'd been through so much in life that oftentimes she loses herself to what she call it? She loses herself to trauma responses. And that handling was more or less like guiding me back to stability, guiding me back to like, babe, this is not that. Guiding me back to like, you can let the attitude go, like we're not in that place anymore. And truth of the matter, maybe we all need some handling at different seasons and different points in our lives, because we do lose ourselves to, to whatever it is we might be struggling with. When someone says they're a lot, I like to listen to identify what makes you say that about yourself, because that's something that I definitely need to be aware of before I assume, what KR said is exactly what Lisa meant when she said it.
Okay, so let me ask this then. With that being the case, what does it mean to handle you? What does it mean to handle you? And then what also does a man's mean?
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
I mean, because if you're a lot and if you're having those emotional issues, you need somebody to reel you back in. Then you need somebody with patience. You need somebody who's compassionate enough. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody who, and that's not going to be, well, I can't say if it is or not, but is that really going to be a super aggressive man? Is that really going to be what a lot of people call a man's man? You need somebody that's going to show you compassion and show you patience and show you love in those areas that you are struggling and that you need a little help getting back to it, and say, hey, babe, you know what? Now you really don't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is what we can do, blah, 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 and be a little bit more patient.
So she came back. She said, anything you need as my man is yours, period. I need that back. And I need you to know that is what it is already is. I'm going to read that again.
Please do.
Anything you need as my man is yours, period. I need that back. And I need you to know what that is already. And I love the response Dub just gave, because these are the exact conversations we need to have with people before we bed them, before we wed them, before we partner with them. These are the conversations that you ask on dates when you're getting to know someone. That if you really want to get to know, like, what does it take to keep you ticking? What do you do? And what does your circle do for you that keeps you in this state of mind, this state of being? Because low key, a lot of us probably have people in our immediate circle that are handling us in a very delicate way or a very appropriate way according to the trauma they know that we've gone through. And as much as we say that word, handle, sometimes it's just a very clear awareness of someone that they have. It doesn't mean they don't need to be in a relationship. I do agree with Stephanie here. What up, lady? She said, no, we need personal development. I think that personal development needs to go hand in hand with the type of relationship you need to be in. Because, I mean, honestly, like, you are a lot. I think that we're all a lot to certain people. And for some people, we're not a lot. I'm familiar with this. I can handle this.
I wanna jump back on this real quick. No fact. She said, anything you need as my man is yours, period. I need that back, and I need you to know what that is already. So I just want to comment on that. Let me put it back up so I can see exactly. Okay. I love the fact that you said anything you need as my man is yours, right? And I understand as far as being able to meet your needs as well, and that's great. I'm still confused on what does it mean to be a man's man?
Like, what does one have to do with the other?
Right. I guess what I'm lost is, what does it actually mean to be a man's man? Because anybody can meet those needs. You know what I mean? Any person can meet those needs, whether that be a sensitive man, whether that be what people say a man's man, whether that be aggressive man, whether that be a quiet man, whatever. It takes the willingness to meet somebody's needs. You know what I mean? Because you could be a man's man and just don't feel like doing nothing for you. You know what I mean? Just like you said, anything you need as my man is yours. You could be a man's man and just be like, yeah, that's cool, babe. I appreciate everything you do, but I don't feel like doing that for you. I don't feel like, making sure you're okay too.
When I hear a man's man, I remember they said that. What you got, Mike? I see it. What is it?
Where's that? Where's that, his man?
He called Chocolate Arrow.
A man's man to me is what Errol Keith O'Cully said earlier. A man that provides, protects, and attends to what needs attention.
Got it.
What's happening right now is exactly what me and my friend were talking about, man. Relationships thrive off clarifying questions.
They 100%, bro.
Clarifying questions are the way to always go before you assume you know what they mean. You either get offended or you try to change their mind about it. Clarifying questions are like oxygen for relationships. Be patient enough to say, what do you mean by that? How does that? Because what I understand from it, what do you mean? And then let them answer.
Right.
Before you go on this, this situation. When I hear man's man, I hear what they said about my grandfather when he passed away. He was a man's man. And a lot of people said it. And then almost every person who got there at his funeral gave a different story about why he was a man's man to them. And what I come to understand from that man's man comment is that you're the type of man that the man in my life told me a man should be like. So it's relative. It's relative. I want my daughter to be able to say that's a man's man, but she is using that man's man standard according to what her father said a man should be like. You're a man's man. Men want to be like this man according to what my father or what the male figure in my life, or even maybe my mother told me a man should be like. And so I think that everybody's walking around with a definition of what a man should be like. And when they see one, they say, oh, that's a man's man. Like that's the kind of man the other man respects. So I could be wrong, but that's what I hear.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I love this, Steph. We have to learn how to tap into our femme. Man, I tell you, man, I told you guys, you got something, Mike?
No, I said that's true. Go ahead.
I told you that I was spending time with my first love, and she was talking to me about how back when we were in a relationship, like she never felt like she could be soft, except for when she was in a relationship with me. And if you know her life story and her, her history, you understand like, everybody looked at her to be the leader. Like, oh, you're the strong one. Remember the episode we did and the lady got on here and she's like, I'm tired of being called strong. I'm tired of it. I don't want to be strong all the time. And I think that's, where, and I think that's what goes back to that love piece. Like for a lot of women, they're looking for a relationship where they can tap into their femme. Whatever that means for them, whatever that softness or that feminine power or whatever that strength or that ability, whatever that means to them, they look for a place where they can tap into it. And a man is looking for a place where his masculinity is respected, appreciated, and promoted. So
that seems to tie into that topic that I wanted to discuss.
It's on you, bro.
All right, so check it out. Says, babe, you need to change. You need to do better. Babe, I'll do better, but you must do better too. Well, if you can't accept me for the way that I am, then you should leave the relationship.
Oh, man.
one more time, bro. One more time, bro.
Babe, you need to change. You need to do better. Babe, I'll do better, but you must do better too. Well, if you can't accept me for the way that I am, then you should leave the relationship.
Jesus Christ.
Go ahead.
You see how I look away from that one, right?
Jesus.
Jesus Christ! Put on.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Break it down, man. How is it that one person, I don't even know how to break that down. Like, you should change, but you should accept me for how I am.
Right.
Low-key, that was my last marriage.
Right.
And no shade to this woman at all. She's a great woman, but on our show we like to be transparent, and it was one of those things where, you know what I mean, I knew that I had things that I needed to work on within the marriage, right? And I was willing to do that. Cool, no problem. But it seemed like when I would express things that I felt that, hey, maybe you should XYZ, then it would be like, well, this is how I am. You knew how it was before you got with me. You don't accept me. I need to find somebody that accepts me for me. Yeah, well, I do accept you, but in that acceptance, you have to be willing to also, if we're in a marriage, you have to give and take. It's give and take constantly. So if you're not really willing to give anything to the relationship, is it a real relationship? Is this a real marriage?
I was talking to my friend yesterday about that, about marriage, and how my mentor told me you get engaged and then people give up engagement to get married. He said they shouldn't. They should add marriage to their engagement. He said the issue with a lot of married people that they're no longer engaged. They get married and they go off and do their own separate things.
That's good.
They never engage, and if you don't have engagement, then you don't have partnership, because you don't know about each other. You don't understand where each other is going, what you're trying to do. And he said that's where the issue comes into play. You guys have to stay engaged. How do you expect this thing to grow and flourish if you guys don't give up and die to yourselves so that you guys can truly be one? And I think that's the part you really have to look at. Everybody has some altering to do, not for the other person, but for the relationship. Because in my eyes, the relationship is something that you present back to God. It's his. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to you. It's his. So we're presenting this relationship back to God. So it's only right that both of us sacrifice and make the alterations and adjustments, not to please the other person, but to give God something that's pleasing in his sight.
Absolutely. You know, I had a situation like that when I was engaged. That was one of the issues that we had, and you know, she said something that I needed to adjust, or that she wanted me to fix. That for me, it wasn't anything wrong with it, but I said, okay, you know what, that's what you want. You know what I mean? I will fix it. I will adjust it. And I made those adjustments, you know, and then I said something to her like, hey, you know what, this is what you need to adjust. And she was basically like, no, I'm not changing nothing. I'm fine just the way I am. You know, this is how I am. Ain't nothing wrong with the way I am. And it just puzzled me, because it's just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like was nothing wrong with me the way I was, but you brought something to my attention that you wanted different. Right. So with being the case, and I made those adjustments for you, now I'm asking you for something that I would like to be different, and you say there's nothing wrong with you.
I think the issue with that, a lot of us sometimes think that we're the standard, that we figured it out. This is how a man should be. This is how a woman should be. I am doing my part, so now you need to rise up to this part. But honestly, man, like, I had to learn. I'm not the standard. I probably don't even know the standard.
It's always room. It's always room for growth and improvement. And I feel like a lot of times when we have our goals in our head and we meet these specific goals, we think, okay, I've made it. I'm at the top of the mountain. Now you're kind of looking down on people like, you need to come up here, be up here, but not even looking behind you. You got a whole nother mountain behind you haven't even touched yet. So you can't be so, I'll say me, I couldn't be so hell bent on trying to get her to my level that I forgot that I still had growing to do. You know what I mean? But a lot of times we get stuck in that because we know where we used to be and we see where we are now. We think, man, I'm good. I made it. But that's not the case.
And you know, go ahead.
No, I was going to chime in on the comment from Stephanie. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say, just because you've grown to from where you used to be doesn't mean that you still don't have things that can be improved. And I may have not seen where you used to be. All I may see is just where you're now. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you think since you've grown from where you used to be and now you're at this place that I'm supposed to say, oh, wow, you're at this place. You know what I mean? I don't know where you used to be. Hey. You know, and that's a growth for you. Doesn't mean that you should stay stagnant in that new place, and doesn't mean that new place is just like you're at the pinnacle of everything that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to accomplish anything else. So
that made me think about how in our last relationship, our partner may have disagreed with some things and asked us to make some corrections. In our singleness, we made those corrections, and now we expect the next person to appreciate those corrections. But those weren't our corrections.
You don't know nothing about your corrections.
You've grown and developed yourself, and now you're a better partner for your ex.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't want rims on my car. I didn't want that peanut butter interior. It's not right. So if you made all these alterations for the wrong person, you need to go back to your ex, because that's who asked for it.
Yes.
Did you say you need to go back to your ex because that's who asked for it?
That's exactly what he said.
Wow.
I agree 100%. You making changes for somebody else, and then you expect me to accept the changes or be proud of the changes that you made for somebody else. Like, no, I don't care about that. You know, actually, I would have preferred you to be the other way.
Man, look.
Hey, man, one man's trash is another man's treasure. The loose way to say it. One woman's trash, another woman's treasure. This is the part I want to touch on. What Stephanie said. There's nothing wrong with any one of us. We just have these expectations that really don't matter at the end of the day and leads to disappointments. Like if that person ain't what you like, don't
go find somebody else.
Change them.
Right. Yep.
When it comes to people changing who they are, the best and the most you should do is support the changes that they want to make for themselves. When you try to alter and mold somebody into who you want, even if they fake it for a minute, they're gonna bounce back to who they really want to be.
You know, that's the exact reason why
I might give you the Arsenio Hall thing.
Yeah,
because I was gonna say now, Donnie. Remember, we the fixers out of the circle, so it's easy for us to say now. But back when we was trying to fix something that we couldn't fix, we didn't see it like that. We saw it as, man, I could do it. It's a project. I can do it. I know I can fix.
Put me in your hands. I will make you into the perfect woman.
Man, look,
delusional.
For sure.
Man, you know, that's why I always say, especially when trying to get to know somebody, I'm gonna let them be who they are. I'm gonna let them do what they do. I'm not gonna tell you have to do this. I'm not gonna tell you have to do that. I want you to do what you gonna naturally do. What's appropriate for you, what you feel is comfortable, what you do on a day-to-day basis, or how you feel like you want to treat me, right? Or how you feel like you want to behave, what you feel is necessary. Now, if that doesn't work for me, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation because it just don't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how to be because you're a grown person just like I am. You know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know what's appropriate, you know what's not appropriate.
That's it.
I shouldn't tell anybody have to do anything like, hey, especially if we already had a conversation and discussion about, you know, certain things. Like you getting to know somebody, you tell people your likes, your dislikes, you know, stuff like that, and your ins and outs and stuff like that, what makes you tick. You have conversations like that. It's part of getting to know somebody. I'm not going to tell you where to change. I'm not going to tell you how to change. I'm not going to tell you anything like that. We've already had the discussion, what I like, what I don't like, what makes me tick, what bothers me. Yeah. Right? I'm not going to tell you to change. I'm going to let you do whatever it is that you're going to do. If that doesn't work for me, then I'm going to leave.
So check this out, because that ties into what Zeta. Let me know if I'm saying your name right. Zeta Toom. Zeta. I'm gonna give everybody a nickname on here. Zeta. Z baby said, "Is that growth or change?"
Not Z baby.
Z baby said, "Is that growth or change permanent, or if only for changing for them? If you don't see that change is needed, will you stick to it?" I think that's a great question, because if you're changing for that person, is it really change or is it a costume?
That's a fact.
Yep.
That's a fact. Just like,
is it that you're going to see Simone? Is it that huh?
Arrow put on skinny jeans for one of his relationships. It was a costume because it wasn't who he was. And sure enough, when that relationship didn't work out, he never wore them again.
It's just like when you go work out and you feel like, oh, this person wants me to get in the gym. He wants me to be smaller, or she wants me to be buffer, so I'm gonna get in the gym. And as soon as that relationship ends, you revert right back to not going, to eating crazy and all this other stuff, because you were never doing it to be healthy. You were doing it because that's what the other person wanted. That ain't it.
Whew. Buddy. Hey, we're gonna kick Vicky off the show. We're gonna kick Vicky off the show. The Bob the Builder spirit was running rampant.
Listen, I saw it and I laughed and I just kept moving. Vicky always good for one of those.
Hey, real talk. All right, fellas, we got a question for y'all though. Here we go. What do y'all think about women that says she wants to be single and just date for the rest of her life without committing to a relationship? What do y'all think?
Well, I would say to that is that coming from an actual place that you really genuinely want to be single, or is that coming from a place of disappointment? Like you've just been disappointed and you don't want to commit yourself because you feel like maybe, you know, you won't be happy committed to a person like that or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, where's that coming from? That would be my question. Like if you just want to date for the rest of your life, my question is, where is that coming from?
And Dove just gave us a prime example of what we said earlier. Clarifying questions are the breath and life of any relationship. You see, our relationship with our audience is going to ask these clarifying questions, because you can go off on a route that was very big and a big topic and vague, and people do things for a lot of different reasons. Have y'all ever been that way? Said, I don't want to be in relationships no more. I'm just gonna be out here and sow my royal oats.
You know what? I have.
Yes.
and that's why I said that. Where's that coming from? Because I know it's been times that, one time at I had to give it the coupon.
Oh man,
I've been at that point. You know what I mean? To where it's just like I was just so frustrated and so upset with me trying to do my best in relationships and dating and stuff like that, and it just didn't pan out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't going the way I thought it was. Yeah, exactly. So that my natural reaction was, man, fuck these bitches. You know what I'm saying? I'm just about to just do me.
Hey.
Yep. But I mean, even saying that, I just had to realize where that was coming from. That was coming from a point from me. I'm not saying anybody else, but for me, that was coming from a point of disappointment, a point of hurt, a point of like I'm trying my best. Like, what's going on here? Like, I know I'm a good dude. So like what's the issue? You know what I'm saying? And I had to realize that still continue to do my best because somebody will appreciate that. Somebody will appreciate my best, exactly what I've been doing. And whoever didn't appreciate that, whoever was still searching for something different, whoever was still searching for that dude that used to swipe them down, or that dude that had that money, or that dude that whatever it was that they were still searching for, that's fine. You know what I mean? That just made room because that person just wasn't the person for me. It did make me feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But,
and sometimes easy, our picker is off. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just picking the wrong people, or we just going after the wrong woman. You know what I mean? A lot of times, I used to be one to say, you know what I mean, I can't find a good woman. And it wasn't that I couldn't find a good woman. It was the woman that I was choosing to be with that weren't right for me. I'm not going to even say they weren't good women. Well, one of them definitely was not a good woman, but I'm not going to say that the other one was.
Conversation in his head. He's just like,
listen. My inner self said, "Nigga, stop lying. You already know." She was trash.
Don't you be fronting on this show? Don't you front on this show, brother?
But nah. So that's another thing we got to watch out to, is that we're not blaming the outside world for our mistakes of who we're choosing.
Yeah. Okay, so that part of the conversation leads me somewhere, man. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So we talk about these ideas of not changing ourselves for someone, but altering ourselves for a bigger picture. Right? We're willing to sacrifice and make changes for the bigger picture. I want to put up this video that I saw on this movie that I was watching. And it was comical, but it kind of gave some truth to what marriage is. And I want to see what you guys think about this, and if you ever felt this way about somebody.
So, marriage. It's foolish, idiotic, insane even, to believe there is one person out there that we could ever possibly hope to track down and live a perfectly happy existence with. That's so harsh. Hold on, hang in there. Yet these two stand here before us and say, we commit to this insanity. These two have said rational thought is against us. Divorce rates are against us. You and I are both deeply flawed, but we will continue to challenge all the forces that jeopardize our union. Like sailors on the open sea, they have been through it all. And still, they stand together to weather the next storm. And the next one after that. So today, we celebrate the foolishness, recklessness, and complete lack of rationale that has gone into making this couple so strong. Today, we celebrate love and all of its beautiful imperfections. And of course, with the exchange of rings. Oh, wait.
What y'all think about that, man?
I think there's some honesty in what he's saying. I mean, the chips, whether it's society, whether it's whatever it is, the chips are stacked against being married and staying married. Not just getting married. Anybody can get married, but the hard part is, well, the part they want us to think is hard is staying married. You know what I mean? But but I feel like it's something. I feel like it's something new. I don't feel like my grandmother or my great grandmother back in their day. I don't feel like it was the divorce rate was the way it is right now. I feel like people. I'm sorry.
Did they live in LA?
Wow.
That's
I know people
divorce rate. That ain't the world's.
No. Well, I don't know about the world. I can only speak for where I'm from and where my people are from. Good brother.
Wood. My bad.
So I feel like this is a recent thing where people are just not respecting the sanctity of marriage anymore. They're treating it like a boyfriend girlfriend type of relationship. If it get hard, I'm out. You did this, I'm out. It's just so easy for people to just give up on marriage. It's crazy.
I feel like they have to respect the insanity of marriage. I think a lot of times, we're looking for relationship or marriage to be our safe place. We're looking for it to be the most rational. I know people, and I've had to coach people who have married the rational choice and ended up being a little unfulfilled, miserable even. I was talking to my ex from high school, first love, and she was talking about like just the memories we made. We were talking about the memories we made back then. And just like, man, it was magical. It was crazy. And she's like, oh, we were just kids. We didn't have it figured out. Now we have a better understanding. And I said, do we? Because evidence points to back then we had it figured out. We knew something back then based on evidence of moments and memories that we had and what we created and what we felt. I feel like as we get older, we learn how to be safer. But I'm not sure if learning how to be safe is a prerequisite for having the love of your life or for having your happily ever after. I think that's actually the thing that prevents us from walking in the fullness of what God said love and relationships and marriages could be, because it was never intended to be safe. It is a risk. It is a leap of faith. And God said, I'm going to protect you in it as long as your faith is in me. That's what I'm thinking.
Vicky said that goes with what Errol said before. It's making a choice, choosing a person, and working to keep their bond secure and intact. I say this all the time, man. It's a choice. It is definitely a choice. It's a choice. Like, the problem is nowadays, what I tend to see is a lot of people have options. A lot of people have way too many options, and if you're not doing exactly what they need, how they need it, and when they want you to do it, if there's ever a point where there needs to be work, people are just so quick to just jump ship and say, you know what, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do it. Let me just leave. Let me go. Let me blah, blah, blah. Because they know how easy it is to get somebody else because the options are there. That somebody else may not be a good fit. It may not be the right fit, but a lot of times it's just easier to just say, okay, you know what, boom, let me just cut my losses and let me just go and do this. Versus, saying, okay, you know what, this relationship is going to take some work. Every relationship is going to take some work because now you're intertwining somebody else's personality with your personality. You're intertwining somebody else's feelings with your feelings. You're intertwining somebody else's mood swings with your mood swings. You're entertaining somebody else's insanity with your insanity. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we just say, okay, well, I'm okay to feel this way. I'm okay to be crazy sometimes. I'm okay to have mood swings sometimes. I'm okay to flip out sometimes, but it's not okay for you because I don't like when you do it. So since I don't like when you do it, I'm just going to run off and I'm just going to leave. Right? Instead of just working towards say, okay, you know what, you crazy just like I am. You have your moments of insanity just like I do. Within reason. Obviously, there are certain reasons that, we put certain things together that just don't fit, right? But within reason, if you can say, okay, you know what, I understand you have your crazy just like I do. I understand you have your mood swings just like I do. I understand, you just don't feel like being bothered just like I do. I'm willing to put in the work and work this thing through for us.
When you recognize that the marriage wasn't created and built for your pleasure, that's not why God made it. He made his relationship with you. He created you and created the Sabbath for your pleasure. and for your happiness and your joy. That's not what marriage is supposed to bring. That's supposed to be something that already exists between you and your creator. And so when you recognize that the relationship is not for you, that it's an offering back to God, at least that's the way that I see it. Then you start to understand what's required of you, and if it's something that you should really invest in. Everybody that wants to be married shouldn't be. Everybody hasn't been called to be. It may not be for you in this season, no matter how bad you may want it. And I had to get up real quick because we haven't plugged it in a minute, but
pause. We ain't done what?
We ain't plugged it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
you know what you need for that mouth, bro? You need some of that for your mouth.
ASAP.
I was just trying to help some people have a happily ever after, bro. Just not a happy ending.
Go ahead, because it's a great book. Go ahead.
So what I wanted to say, wow. Okay. Yep, I haven't opened this book in a while. Let's picture me and my ex in there. Just jumped out at me. What I wanted to say was that the first chapter is called Love and Logic. And it really
First of all, can you do it the right way and explain to us what it is that you're even reading? What is this book? We don't know.
All right. This is a book that I published in 2014 called Before the I Do, Are You My Happily Ever After? I often bring this book on the show. Boom. You can get it on donovandonnell.com or you can get it on Amazon and where most books are sold. The reason I'm bringing it up for a real quick promo is that the first chapter is called Love and Logic, and it really helps you to understand how to properly manage relationship issues from either your logic, your emotional state, your emotional, your mental state, or from a spiritual instinctive place. And I think that's the part where I've coached a lot of relationships and where people kind of get it wrong. They're diving into these spiritual places from a logical place, and they're expecting love to be more rational than it really is. It is a lot of faith required. Risk is always a part of it. And if you're not built for risk, then relationships and entrepreneurship aren't really for you.
You said that when you said relationships and entrepreneurship or not?
Both of them. The other book I wrote is about entrepreneurship. And the thing that God gave us because risk is a part of life, but the thing he gave us to learn how to navigate risk is faith in him.
Yes.
Because therein lies promises and guarantees about heaven's participation and God's protection in these areas where risk is involved. But we don't worry like people who have no God. We don't succumb to anxiety like people who have no God that loves them and provides for them or promised to keep them in hard times. And so if two people who have been called together can simply turn and look to God, who is their help in times of trouble, they won't turn on each other. Because that's usually what happens in the middle of marital issues or relationship issues. The people turn on each other, and that's what dissolves the relationship. Like my bishop said, it's not the water outside of the boat that can sink it. It's when the water gets on the inside, which is ultimately when two people turn on each other. So that's all I got to say about it.
That's good.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. If I can shoot. Wait a minute.
Golly, bruh.
No.
So wait a minute. I'm glad you put that there because I have something to say. This is just something that I just found out. This is real talk. You know how you can go to the store to the beauty supply shop and buy hair, right? How girls go to the beauty supply shop and buy hair and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that y'all can go there and also buy baby hair?
Yeah.
Like the stuff that she just put on?
Just the baby hair, not even the whole. Just the baby hair.
That first part.
Just a little slick that they use a toothbrush and the comb to try to make it swirly.
It's a mustache for your forehead, man. You've seen it.
I just learned that. I just learned that you can go to the beauty supply shop and just buy just baby hair.
And you can put it wherever you want. Decorate whatever part of your body you. You can doll up your happy trail or whatever it is you want to do.
Is baby hair like a forehead dress?
Oh, Jesus.
It's more of a mini skirt.
God.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All
right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting down to the final few minutes. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all want to get into? We can talk about. There's a man topic. Want to learn more about how men become greater men, or do you want to talk a little bit more about one of the issues that shows up in a marriage? Man development or a marriage?
Are we asking the audience? Or are we?
Yeah, I'm asking y'all. I'm asking y'all, and I'm asking the audience. What do y'all think?
I'll go with whatever the audience goes for.
All right. All right.
You know what? Can I tap into this real quick?
What you got?
Because man said, I believe what the Bible says about a man finding a wife and not the other way around. I really believe God wants me to wait for a husband, for my husband to find me, and that's what he gave me, a broken picker.
So this is going to be the last topic for tonight. Errol, take it away. I already know how you feel about this one, bro. Have at it.
So, first off, a man can't find something that's not there. You have to be a wife for a man to find a wife. Right? So when that Bible is talking about a man find a wife, find a good thing, that don't mean a man find a woman and make her his girlfriend and then make her a wife. That's saying a man finds a wife. Damn. So you have to be a wife for a man to find you. And even if you are a wife, doesn't mean that you're that man's wife. Right?
Jesus Christ!
Exactly. You have to be that man's wife for him. First off, you have to be a wife. Then you have to be that man's wife. So a lot of times, people just want he's supposed to find me because, I'm the woman and blah, 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 and this and that. If you're not a wife to begin with, he can't find a hood rat and just say, oh, that's my wife. He can't find just a woman who's just for a relationship, so to speak, but she's not a wife. In this time, if I want to be a husband to somebody, I have to be a husband first. That's all I'm saying.
So let's do this because I understand. Like Tanya said, I'm confused. Kimberly said, I got a video for you. I'm happy, Dub. I'm happy you went that direction. Here's a video I want you guys to watch.
Here's what the scripture says. He that finds a wife finds a good thing. It didn't say he that finds a girl that he's attracted to, who he then begins to date, who he then calls his girlfriend, who he then buys a ring, proposes, and makes her his fiance, who he then marries later, who becomes his wife. You're not a wife when I marry you. You're a wife when I find you. You become my wife when I marry you. But a wife is not the presence of a ring. It's the presence of your character. Too many women want to be married, but you're walking in the spirit of girlfriend. Ask the Lord to deliver you from that spirit and carry yourself like you're already taken. And I promise you, when you carry yourself like a wife, a husband will find you. But if you keep walking like a girlfriend, boys will play with you. 1 Kings 17.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. Mike, go ahead. You want to go ahead, Mike?
Nah, I don't get. I mean, he cleared it up. He cleared it up.
So this is what I wanted to address. Tonya, who said I was confused, and Kimberly, who said I'm like, because I was on the same page, just trying to understand. Like, it's like a paradigm shift. Because so often you're hearing, the man should pursue the woman, and you find a wife and needs to be a wife already. But how is she a wife if ain't nobody made her their wife? The part that I got from what the guy said and what Errol was saying was more or less about like the character. It's about your commitment and your submission to the responsibilities of a wife or husband, the character of a wife or a husband prior to someone choosing you. This new job I got, right? People are asking, okay, so how are you preparing for it? Are you gonna be working from home most of the time? Are you gonna get a new desk? And you're gonna get like a new chair, and you're gonna get some new work clothes and stuff like that? And I said no, because that reminds me of planning for the wedding, but not the marriage. If I want to be married, or if I want to be in this new position, I want to be great at it, I should start working on the software and the skill sets that are going to make me great at the job description. I think that a lot of people don't know what the job description is for a husband, or the job description is for a wife, or the responsibilities or the expectations of God in that role. And although I don't think that, she can't be a wife if she's not my wife, I do think that adapting to the character ahead of time is how you find yourself successful in it. And some people do. We walk. I know I do. I walk in that boyfriend spirit, which is maybe why I hadn't found a wife, or I hadn't been recognized as husband quality in the past.
Yeah. Well.
Audience, we want to hear from y'all, especially the ones who were a little confused. What is your question? Let's add.
Okay.
It's time for our mental health check-in. It's time for our mental. It's time for God. So much other stuff that I wanted to get to tonight, but you guys are horrible. And we're just gonna get to the part that makes sense about this show. Keep checking the chat for any comments about that last video while I get the number ready for tonight.
Kiss Mayor, yeah, he does need to be a husband, but that wasn't what was being questioned. What the initial statement was that you said that you were gonna. The Bible says that a man should find a wife. So we're not really talking about whether he should be a husband. Now we're talking about what your statement was, which was the Bible says a man should find a wife, which that it does, and that's why the video was played.
I feel like we're going to have to pick this one up on the next episode, because I feel like there's definitely some questions there. Even Kimberly saying, explain this characteristics. Are you saying playing house in a relationship? That is an excellent point, because I know a lot of times people have these marital expectations while they're dating somebody and expects to see the full husband and full wife on date 2 and 3. But did they earn that? So that's a very good discussion for us to have moving forward. But before we get out of here, we want to honor Mike.
Nah, I was just gonna say I can have husbandly traits and be single. I don't got to be with anybody to know that I'll be a good husband just because of my traits, my thought patterns, my walk with God. All of these things are traits of a husband. That don't mean I have to be with anybody. I could be single.
And I think it does come down to a person's ability to be able to recognize those traits. Per God's standard, you know what I'm saying to you, but we could touch on that on next episode. But I know Mike wants to get into this before we leave here tonight. So Mike, take this away for the next few minutes.
A gentle reminder that you're worthy of love always. Not when you get your money right, not when you lose that weight, not when you're successful, but now. You are worthy of love as you are in this moment. Man, this with everything that's going on in the world, people losing jobs, people, suicide, all of these negatives that the news flashes to us like daily. I just think that it's important to tell each other, tell one another, tell a friend, a family member, somebody walking down the street that you're worthy of love, you're worthy of affection, because you just don't hear it. I was walking past a guy the other day, and it's just like we don't even stop and acknowledge each other for just being human anymore. It's just like I'm in my own world. I got my own stuff to deal with. I can give a shit what you're going through because my stuff is more important. Instead of saying, how are you doing today? Stuff like that can change a whole person's trajectory of what they're about to do, where they're going in life. This guy could have been on his way to go kill himself, but just somebody asking, how you doing today? Just somebody showing us compassion and love and caring about this person, whether you know him or not, is important. And I feel like on a daily basis, it's important to even look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're worthy of love. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not too fat for love. You're not too skinny for love. You're not too unattractive for love. I don't care if it's a scar, if it's a birthmark, if it's a burn. You're worthy of love and affection, and never think that your Mr. Right or Mrs. Right will never come because of you don't think that you're worthy of that. I don't care if you got 16 kids or if you can't even have kids. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. So just know that the fellas, I can speak for Carrie as well. We love you and we appreciate you. And more importantly, learn to love yourself, because no matter how many people tell you they love you or they appreciate you, if you don't feel that about yourself, none of it will ever matter. You'll always feel empty inside because you don't love yourself. So this is actually a good time to get into that next mental health piece.
Man, you guys know how we do it every week. We like to end by giving you guys a resource, because these struggles we're talking about, we're not making them up. Either we've dealt with them or we know people who have struggled with very deep and dark and harmful insecurities about what they see in the mirror, about what they hear. Some people don't like their voice. They don't like their height. They don't like their skin complexion, their freckles. They don't like, their thickness or their boniness. Like, it's so many different things. And you need to talk to somebody. Everybody doesn't have a circle that reinforces the promises that God spoke over your life or who God made you to be. Or some people don't have people to vent to and just get that stuff out of them and replace it with what's true. They don't have a healthy outside perspective that lets them know, like, those things aren't true about you. So we wanted to end the show by letting you know you are worthy no matter what state you're in. We spent a lot of time on the show talking about, people who do like body shaming or body alterations just to try to fix something that's psychological. And if that's where you are, we know that it's not always a quick fix. Some people pray and they get released. Some people don't. They have to go into a process. You can start your process by calling this number, 1-800-854-7771, 1-800-854-7771. It's the access line. It's a mental health hotline to where you can get connected to professionals, therapists, therapists, counselors, or even support groups, to where you can get with like-minded people or professionals who can help you sort through some of these things. My experience with therapy as of now is that most people know they have voices in their head. My therapist is actually helping me to truly understand where they come from, what their intentions are, and if they should remain or if they should go. Yeah. I love my gym therapy. I love my music therapy. But this therapy is a little different. It offers something it offers a greater, a more depth of distinction between what's going on inside of me. So if you know somebody who's struggling, or if you're struggling yourself, this number is a great resource, 1-800-854-7771. And I tell you, if you feel like you need to call. It's been a big transition. This season has been a transition for a lot of people. And they know that a change they feel like a change is knocking at their door. But it takes you stepping in. A lot of times we want to wait for opportunities to show up. But what my mentor told me is that opportunities often show up when you start stepping towards them. Just like with Moses in that sea, once he stepped forward and did what God told him to do, then that sea parted. And so maybe you need to be the person, the catalyst. You have to be proactive in what you want and watch your life respond to your faith. I'll tell you straight up and down, like what Mike was saying, there's been people, women that I've been attracted to who just didn't feel like they were enough. And I was upset because I'm like, dang, what I saw was perfect. It was great. I wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to go for it. But every time I talk, I hear about, I don't like the way this looks, or I don't like the way it looks. And it took up so much capacity in their heart and in their mind that they didn't have any room for someone to truly love them or truly get to know them. Don't sabotage your life like that.
And then just real quick, I know a lot of times with these type of numbers, people, you know what I mean? It's sometimes people may feel like it's embarrassing to call. We just want you to know that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Donnie, but it is confidential. Nobody has to know you called. Nobody has to know your name. They're not going to solicit you and then be trying to call you back. And listen, you just call whenever you feel a need to call. It could be 10 minutes. It can be 2 hours. But the fact of the matter is, we all need an outlet, a release, someone to talk to. And of course, we our number one source we suggest on the show is God. But then, God sends people, right? Regular, tangible human beings. And you know what I mean? And these people on this hotline are trained. This is what they do. So yeah, just don't feel bad or don't have any kind of negative feelings about calling. If you need to call, help is help, no matter how it comes. Pause.
There it is. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Do not feel embarrassed. Do not feel ashamed. Do not feel like you're less than. Don't feel like that. Help is help, and understand that if you need help, understand that you need help, and understand that it's okay to get help. Don't feel less than yourself if you need a little assistance. You know, sometimes, you know, we're not made to just do this life alone. And sometimes that help can be talking to somebody that you know close to you. Sometimes that help can be talking to a complete stranger because you feel a little bit more comfortable talking to somebody that don't know you because you don't want to feel like being judged. You know, sometimes it's almost like if you go on vacation. You know, sometimes you don't want people in your neighborhood to see your body, but if you go on vacation, you're like, I don't care if I've been working out or not. You gonna I'm gonna enjoy it. You know, so it's the same thing. Like sometimes you don't want people to know your business, and you may feel embarrassed or feel ashamed, and you might just want to talk to somebody that just don't know you, right? It's perfectly okay.
Yep.
Amen. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you could just jump in the chat, let us know what your favorite part of tonight was. What was your favorite post? What was your favorite comment? What was your favorite input, whether it was hilarious or like truly insightful? We want to get a few of those testimonials before we get out of here. Remember, we do have a Cash App if you want to donate to the cause because we want to help people. You can go ahead and shoot us a Cash App at Cash App. Maybe this will help. Maybe this will help Cash App. And remember to follow us on YouTube and Facebook. Maybe this will help the podcast. And if you have ideas for the show, topics you want us to discuss, or memes you want us to discuss, shoot them to maybe this will help the podcast at gmail.com. Maybe this will help the podcast at gmail.com. Man, all right. Well, nobody's chiming in with any favorite moments right now, but fellas, I got any last words?
They hate it. They hate it. They hate it.
Listen.
And they hate us. Clearly. Nobody loves them. They said Donnie couldn't read well. I mean, you know, it's hard out here. Boss, wow. Wow. Easy.
Oh man. All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, we love y'all. And thank you, Sheila. Always enjoy the laughs and great insight. You guys are effing awesome.
Hey,
thank you.
Thank you.
BANANA. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. It was the bushels of gnats for me. The bushel
me too.
of gnats.
Honestly, me too. That was the highlight.
Thank you, Amber. Amber likes the cone head lady. That's
really.
Thank you. It's an appreciation there. Yes, yes. Don't be a hater. It was good. I stayed up till after 1 a.m. I don't know where you at, Portia, but we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna pray that you get some good rest, good rest tonight. Favorite parts are always.
Wait. Do you want to read Vicky's? You know how Vicky is. You should read it offline first and then put it up.
No,
wild out here.
We favorite parts are always, and I can't read well anyway. Favorite parts are always the flagrancy and the transparency. I'm here for it. We appreciate you. And I want to give a shout out to all our tall ladies in the audience sitting at 5'7" and above. Y'all be nice. Y'all be nice out there.
Hey, John, you want to pray us out real quick?
Yeah, I could pray us out, man. Father God, we thank you and we bless you that you've given us this opportunity to be vessels this night, Father God, that we walked away like we asked in the beginning, better than before for us and the audience, Father God. We thank you that something was said that would help everyone who's listening in right now or listening to the rebroadcast. Whatever we heard, Father God, I pray, Lord, we don't immediately go to a TV show or to a song and just wash it out of our minds. I pray we sit with it, that it may take root in our lives and show up in our behavior, that our relationships may be more fruitful, that our matriculation through our jobs and our endeavors and our goals may be more fruitful because we got something tonight that would help us to remove unnecessary baggage, help us to correct our lens from what we see in the mirror and how we treat and see other people. Father God, we just thank you for this opportunity that tonight was orchestrated by you. Father God, if we said anything out of line, give us an opportunity to come back and correct it. We thank you that laughter is medicine, and we thank you that if anyone lacks wisdom or knowledge, they can ask you and you'll give it. So we thank you, Father God. Continue to bring people here that can help this movement go forward. Continue to bring people here who need help and people who can help us as well. We thank you for this brotherhood and for this audience. In your son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 That's fresh.
Wow.
I'm gonna put that in somebody's stocking for Christmas.
Wow.